The 1700s. A time of scientific breakthroughs, powdered wigs, and impractical large clothing, and women giving birth to rabbits. Yep, today's little macabre tale takes us to England in the early 1700s, as we already stated, and a Mary Toft, a lady called Mary Toft. And she claimed to have performed one of the most bizarre medical miracles to this day. She didn't just claim to be pregante because that would be like the most normal thing in the world. No, she claimed to have given birth to a whole litter of baby rabbits, 17 in total, and also other body parts like cats and eels and... Yes. So, my morbid, macabre friends, let's hop along and dive into this jauntily macabre ramble.
Morbid history.
So yeah, Mary Toft, born and baptized as Mary Danier on the 21st of February 1703. She was living in a very poor village called Godalming. I can pronounce things? No, I can't. Well, it was in Surrey, England. Quite young in 1720 then, after living a life, I guess, in that little poor village. Yeah, well, she married Joshua Toft and became Mary Toft. They together, in quite quick succession, had 3 children. And nothing spectacular of note happened for a few years. Just some family bliss, you know. But then, suddenly, strange things were afoot. In September 1726, she called for a local doctor because she was experiencing something very bizarre. The thing was that she had been pregante again, and a few weeks before that had herself a miscarriage, and everyone were a bit surprised when she suddenly started having labor, going through that labor pain. First they thought that maybe she had like a little twin in there that did not come out with the other one, but what unraveled in front of the local doctor was truly something he won't see again, or anyone will see again. No, Mary started delivering body parts of baby rabbits, cats, and other bits and bobs, if you wanna call it that. He actually wrote down a little statement after visiting Mary, and it reads as thus: 3 legs of a cat of a tabby color and 1 leg of a rabbit. The guts were as a cat's, and in them were 3 pieces of the backbone of an eel. The cat's feet supposedly were formed in her imagination from a cat she was fond of that slept on the bed at night. Yeah. Sure. Either way, very soon it became clear that this miracle was just keeping on. It kept on giving. She continued producing parts of rabbits, baby rabbits, out of her vajayjay as the days went on, in front of this very confused local doctor by this point. And of course, now we do need to ask ourselves, and you're probably wondering how anyone could believe that this was actually a thing that was going on. Well, medical knowledge during this time was truly at its infancy, to put it lightly. And there was actually a very, I don't know how many believed it, but there was a held belief that a baby being formed inside the uterus of the mother could be influenced by what the mother ate or saw or did, or any strong feelings during pregnancy, and it was called a maternal impression. So what the doctor decided upon was that this indeed was a case of that. And it didn't help that Mary herself did say that during her pregnancy, before her miscarriage, she had been out in the fields working, as one did, and she had been frightened by a rabbit. After that, she had had extreme cravings for rabbit meat, and also just dreams when she was sleeping all about rabbits. Case closed. This whole story started spreading like a wildfire, and there were news pamphlets and songs and stories they were given out to the people who were extremely intrigued, and lots of doctors came to witness her giving birth to these bunnies firsthand, because she just kept doing it on and on and on. They were always not in their live subscription, of course. As the news spread more and more, even King George I got into the hysteria and very intrigued by this lady out there doing the rabbit business. And with the big fame of it all, of course, doctors and surgeons and all of those, perhaps a bit too eager to make a name for themselves, rushed there to just gawk at it and report back to the king. Even the king's own royal surgeon went there to have a little look. And for a brief moment there in time, it seemed like this woman had shattered the laws of biology. But as you may guess, there were people they had a tiny amount of healthy skepticism here and smelled a little hoax. One of these skeptical doctors actually noticed how Mary would be clenching her thighs for dear life very, very hard until it was time to labor out the little baby bunnies. And also, after closer investigation, because he took some of the bunnies without asking to his little London medical practice place, I'm guessing, and there he examined them, and he asserted that they not only had straw and grain in their stomachs, they don't get that if they're born, if they're made in a human stomach. They must have been living for a little while outside in the world. And also, the parts had been cut with human-made tools. As soon as people started hearing these accusations of a hoax and fraud, interrogations began, and they were pretty harsh. Some doctors threatened to actually examine her without pain relief and cutting her open and looking into her uterus. And Mary caved and finally confessed. She had indeed stuffed these demised baby rabbit parts into her hoo-ha and then pretending to give birth to them. Why? Fame and money. They thought that after a while, once they got big enough people would actually pay to come and see her, just watch her, or even see her doing this nice little rabbit trick she had concocted. They even found her accomplices. Her husband had been buying up like the whole town's supply of baby rabbits. Don't know how they missed that. So once she was exposed, Mary became the laughingstock of England. Her name forever associated with this bizarre medical hoax. The scandal, of course, embarrassed lots of high-ranking people in the medical community because, yeah, they were very gullible and they had been fooled by a woman claiming to give birth to rabbits. Finding a job after that couldn't have been easy. And Mary Toft, then, what happened to her? Well, she was very briefly imprisoned for deception, but not for long, and she was released very quickly without any lasting punishment, except being a big joke for many people. We know that she gave birth to another non-rabbit. She got a girl, which I think is pretty impressive. I mean, having stuffed parts into there, I'm amazed that her lady parts still actually worked. People were made of I don't even know back then how they survived anything. Yeah, so from what I read, she lived out the rest of her long life in obscurity, except for some wealthy man who lived close by to her village, who sometimes paid her to come to his dinner parties and show her off as some kind of freak. History was a fun place to be. Hi, and thank you so much for watching. Please note that I have a Patreon if you wanna support my channel, and also you can become a member of the channel. I post exclusive content on both of them, and also you can send a super thanks if you want. Thanks for considering it. And a giant thanks to my heroes, my lovely members. It's thanks to you that I'm able to even keep this channel running, because it's expensive to get all those subscriptions for editing and wow. Thank you. Mwah. Stay hydrated, stay amazing, but most of all, stay morbid, and I'll see you soon.